I'm about to flip the script, flip the switch, magic trick, watch this, watch this. I'm about to make you trip, make you glitch, camera click, watch this, watch this. I put it like gold, check out the view, out with the old, and in with the new. I'm in my new era, I'm better in my new era, I'm better in my new era.
Hello everybody, it is round 10 in Premiership Women's Rugby and we are in Sale. We've come to the north for Sale against Gloucester Hartpury. It means we get to come to one of the most cherished grounds in English rugby, and despite the weather, that is always a pleasure because this place has a tin roof, it has rafters, it has a wooden stands, and it is part of the fabric of Northern Rugby. It's a great place to come to as well. But, Susie Appleby, there are also here signs of spring in Sale, and we managed to find the signs of spring. They are down in the corner by one of the try lines. It looks like the daffodils are coming through, not yet blooming, but they will be very shortly. But Susie, you also spotted some purple flowers, which you think are crocuses.
I think they're crocuses, yeah, and ironically, they're lilac in colour. So with the Gloucester Hartpury arrival in their away strip, come the arrival of the crocuses. So yeah, spring will come. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it now, but that is proof that it is coming. So, yeah, that's a famous old part of Sale, Haywood Road Ground. 20 years ago, it was known as Steve Hanley's Daffodil Corner. And these days, I suppose, Holly Thorpe, or maybe it'll be Rona Lloyd's corner today, Shona Campbell's corner, or even Asia Hogan-Rochester when she makes it onto the field. Sale are stacked with increasingly more talent, Susie. It's quite an exciting time for Sale at the moment, isn't it?
They really are. And we knew it was going to come. They're very astute in the way that they recruit. Brittany Hogan's just arrived, Asia, you've already mentioned. Some really, really good players that have followed the players of Holly Aitchison's calibre. They're seeing something that's really good happening up here and people want to be a part of it. So you've got your Katana Howards, you brought through their own Morwenna Tallings and young players coming through, but they've complemented it with some very, very strong international talent. And it's starting to show the performances they're putting on the field. It's not by chance that they're developing and growing. Last week, last minute loss against Bristol, but what a performance. So, yeah, it's certainly very, very exciting times up here in the north.
Key to that performance against Bristol was their gain line. They crossed it far more regularly than they have done so far this season. They, of course, have to do that again today. Now, we're going to speak to Charlie Beckett, who's responsible for stopping Gloucester Hartpury on the gain line, but just as much in attack, they have to be knocking over Gloucester Hartpury with their World Cup winners and everybody else.
They do, but first and foremost, they've got to play in the right areas of the field. You can see it, we can feel it, we can see it now. It's raining. Territory is going to be massive. If you put yourself in the right areas, you give yourselves enough opportunities. They are putting themselves and giving themselves opportunities in the attack in 22. Can they convert? But yes, collision dominance and stopping Gloucester Hartpury is going to be absolutely key.
There's also something about this place that can cause teams to come up stuck when they travel up here, isn't there? What is it about Sale?
It's a long way for many teams. It's the travel. It's the can they acclimatise? The pitch is very different. We can see Emma kicking behind us. It's not the same as kicking at Kingsholm. Exeter Chiefs came up here and they got a draw, and that was a very tight game. So yeah, it's so is it mental? Is it physical? Dan Murphy will mention, I have no doubt, it doesn't matter what pitch you're on. It doesn't matter where you come, you've got to be yourselves, a very all-black mantra. But facts are, some people have struggled. So, listen, it could be an evener. Let's see what comes today.
And on that note, let's go and hear from Dan Murphy and hear what he has to say. I spoke to him a little bit earlier. Dan, for the trip north today, you are for the first time without Zoe Stratford in the 23 this season. Was that a difficult call to make?
Yeah, Zoe picked up a bang on the neck last week. Wasn't available for selection this weekend, but Al coming into that space is a great person to fill that number 8 shirt, and it's great to see her back on the field as well.
Yeah, one World Cup winner in for another number 8. You're going to need to be nearly at full tilt in terms of selection because Sale are running hot. Their performance last week, what did you make of it?
Yeah, they're a nutritional side, Sale. And they start well in games. I think out of the last 7 games, they've scored first 5 times. They pick up bonus points pretty much every week. So their physicality and attrition in the way they play is something we've got to match today.
at Haywood Road, a storied old ground in English rugby, wonderful place to play. But what challenges does it present for a team like yourself, which normally play on the artificial grass?
Yeah, there's a bit of change on the surface, but the game doesn't change. I've said this many times before: run forward, pass backwards. You dive into things about the pitch, the weather, the rain, and it can just detract from what the focus really should be. And there's league points on offer here, and we're here to come and get them.
Will you just let us into the Gloucester Hartpury coaching room a little, and what you've been working on this week that's maybe different to last week, that is evolving your game further?
Yeah, so the attack side of our game's been brilliant. We've scored bonus point tries pretty much every week, and it's been that Banners has come in and really built on what we've had and added some real flair to that. But this week we've had a real big focus on our defence and looking at ourselves and not giving away easy tries. We've had a few games this year where we haven't finished the game defensively as strongly as we'd like to. Trailfinders, Exeter away, last week as well against Loughborough. So that's been a real focus on us for this week.
OK, well, we'll look forward to seeing how you fare up here in the north. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and we're not going to speak to Tom Hudson today. We've given him the morning off because there is an even bigger news story around this match today. Gloucester Hartpury against Sale Sharks is, of course, the Beckett family derby as well. So we have Charlie Beckett and Sarah Beckett with me. Charlie, the defence coach at Sale, and Sarah Beckett in the second row for Gloucester Hartpury today. Thank you very much for joining us. The main burning question I have is, on days like this, how are the family divided? Mum and Dad, who are they supporting?
I think it's hard. I think they're not really supporting anybody, just individuals. I don't really know, to be honest. But my grandma's definitely supporting me. So
You've got a big name in there. OK, Charlie, is that the word of the truth, or is it a little more partisan?
I'd love to be able to debate that, but we were literally at our grandma's last night, and I asked her, "Who are you supporting this weekend, Mama?" And she looked me dead in the eye and went, "No one, child, just rugby." Then looked at Sarah, smiled, laughed, and nodded at her. So everyone else is trying to hide with their local lives, but my grandma's not. But no, in all seriousness, I think it's quite a tough one. Family, I think they not struggle, but it's weird seeing like S is on the pitch, so it's easy to see that she's doing what you want her to win, whereas I'm just in my little bib in the dugout. So I think it's a tough day for them, but I think a 0-0 draw and everyone will be happy.
It's a massive day. Hopefully we get more tries and points than that. How many family are down here, though?
I think, how many tickets do you have for? Like 25 or something?
Yeah, 23, 24, something like that. So yeah, there's a fair few.
Nice contribution. OK. Charlie, as defence coach, you're responsible for building a system that might be able to halt Sarah and her cohort today. But when you try and take your brotherly hat off and sort of think of Sarah as a terrific carrier in the PWR, one of the most powerful, and of course someone who's won more titles in the Premier 15s and PWR era, how do you go about building a defence that can try and limit the power of Gloucester Hartpury?
Well, I think Susan can probably attest. This is something all coaches struggled for the last 3 years, haven't we?
Yep.
Look, it's hard. Like, you can't pretend that this Gloucester Hartpury team isn't an incredibly impressive team, and they have threats all over the pitch. Like you stop their power game with the likes of Sarah and Sam and Alex Matthews and Maud through the middle. Then you have to deal with the likes of Pip, Mia, and Emma Singh in the back three. So it's tough. We have our ideas. We know we've ID'd where we think there's a few opportunities to impose pressure today. Ask me at about 3 o'clock whether it works, and we'll see.
Tips, though, back garden tips for tackling Sarah Beckett for your team. You must have passed on a few this week.
Oh, that classic go low, bigger they are, hard they fall, all the cliches. But no, look, like I say, there's a lot of very good ball carriers in this team. You talk a lot about it. It's not trade secrets, two-person shots, fronting up on the gain line, looking to impose some sort of physicality, because the moment you lose the gain line to Gloucester Hartpury, it's one world-class ball carrier, two world-class ball carriers, 3 phases on the back foot, and then it's wide. And you saw Nell Metcalf scored a hat-trick last week from exactly that sort of phase. So that gain line battle today is massive, and trying to stop the likes of Sarah on that gain line would be really imperative, just having any chance of success today.
I suppose that's the satisfaction, Sarah. If you do your job properly, then Gloucester Hartpury can go to those corners with Nell Metcalf. You've got quite a lot of firepower there. That game model seems to be ticking over pretty well.
Yeah, even when Nell's not playing today, obviously picked up a bit of an injury last week. We've got the likes of Mia Venner, Emma Singh, people like that on the wings, like Pip Hendy is coming in. I think we're a really tough side to stop. We're blessed with talent across the pitch, and we're just a team that likes to work for each other, and nobody really cares who scores as long as someone is. So.
Wingers in Gloucester Hartpury well known, but Sale's wingers as well, Susie. I mean,
my
have we
gosh.
seen a better matchup on the wings all season than
absolutely.
right now?
3 top try scorers, 2 of them on the field today with 6 apiece in Sale shirts. So clearly, whatever you're doing, it's working for you, Charlie. So I'm really interested. Obviously, bit different pitch to when you went to Kingsholm. How have you managed the week, given it's a short training week, and what have you really focused on as an opportunity for today?
Yeah, I think we all know as coaches those 6-day turnarounds are really tough because you want to get all the work you need to get in normally in 3 days in 2, but you also can't work the players too hard in those 2 days. So it's been a lot of learning off the pitch, classroom stuff, meeting stuff, and then really focusing and pinpointing, okay, what we're working on in training for really specific to this week and the opportunities we think we've got, both attack and defence. Absolutely,
and Holly really starting to pull the strings together with your both half-backs. So, Sarah, long trip up the road, or not so long, I guess, from Gloucester, but what's been the focus for you guys this week, again, on a short training week?
Yeah, obviously 6-day turnaround's quite tough. We know the track's a little bit different than what we're used to, but I think just going back to us, bringing what we can and just sticking true to what we do, because we believe that when we do what we do well, nobody can stop us, which is hopefully going to be true today, but we'll see.
That's pretty accurate, factually. So, listen, I'm really excited. I wish you both really well in the game today.
It's an exciting prospect, isn't it? We're going to enjoy ourselves today, Susie, most definitely. Now, you may have seen some of the headlines around Sale Sharks recently. A couple of new big names in the side, Brittany Hogan and Aja Hogan Rochester. They both made their debuts last weekend, and Sale Sharks made a diary about their day. So find out how they are getting settled in to life as a Sale Sharks here.
As a quiz.
It would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
On. Oh, it's out, yeah.
It was pelting it down last weekend in Bristol, and it is likewise here in Sale this afternoon. It's going to be a muddy one today. This is the starting 15 for the Sale Sharks. They've had some late changes that they've had to make to the front row, where Sophie Benevent has come in and Nick James has had to switch to the loosehead side, whilst Gwen Cleanne Purse has unfortunately had to drop out. That is the only change from the team, which lost by a point last weekend in agonising circumstances with the last play of the game to Bristol. On the bench, there is a change as well. Evie Roach comes in for Benevent after being shunted into the starting lineup. There's a return as well for Iona Antwis, wearing 20, the excellent line-out operator. Gloucester Hartpury make 6 changes in all, 3 to the starting 15. It includes leaving out Zoe Stratford for the first time this season. Alex Matthews returns from injury. She takes on the number 8 role. Cecilia Tui-Polotu comes in for Maud Muir in a rotation. Maud Muir dropping to the bench. And Pip Hendy replaces the injured Nell Metcalf. Metcalf scoring 3 tries in half an hour last week. Hendy wears 11. Gloucester Hartpury's bench sees some returns for Bethan Lewis. She'll wear 20. Tatiana Hurd, as well as Rachel Lund coming back. Dan Murphy most definitely shuffling a couple of cards, but wary not to make wholesale changes with the quality of this Sale Sharks team. They're wearing lilac today, the same colour as the crocuses near the try line in the bottom left-hand corner. We may well see them clash if they go scoring into that side of things, but they are so impressive, this Gloucester Hartpury team. They have taken maximum points from every one of their matches so far, and Sam Monaghan, it looks like, is laying down the law. Susie Appleby, it's great to have your company in commentary with us today. Sale have a tough job, but conditions possibly favouring them and giving them the best possible chance of levelling things up against the champions.
Quite possibly, yes, but it depends how these experienced halfbacks are going to play the field and play the territory battle. Both very, very experienced in sets in their half-backs. But yeah, the collision area is going to be massive. Bit of a heavier pitch, but you know, these first opening moments will give us an idea of how both teams are going to engage in the game.
Well, referee is Andrew Jackson, the vastly experienced Andrew Jackson. Assistant referees of Callum Howard and Simon Park. Flaky George, already with mud on her shorts, gets us going. Mia Venner gets a foot to this. And this is going to go just out of the sidelines. You can see how there's two touchlines today. This is the Rugby Union touchline, the white one, which is just a little wider. So for those wingers skirting up and down there today, need to keep their eyes on which line is which. And it's one of the challenging conditions, potentially, for Gloucester Hartpury on their trip to Sale today. Morwenna Talling in the centre of the line-out. Sale with the best operating line-out in the league, but they're going to have scrappy ball here to deal with. They've tidied it up. Casolo at number 8 today. Plays scrum half. Olivia Ortiz gets it away to Casolo again. Gloucester Hartpury bringing the pressure in defence from the off. Paris Redding sealing off the ball. Player of the match last weekend's Sales captain. Terrific performance. And Aitchison under no real pressure. Loops this long but doesn't find touch. Singh with the first run of the afternoon. Slips the ball to Beckett's hand. She'll get it away to Venner. Now Mia Venner is away. Venner surely will open up the scoring here. Cuts inside. Holly Aitchison, and Venner strikes early against Sale Sharks. Gloucester Hartpury made a point of saying it would be them which score first, and Venner, in a matter of seconds, has made sure.
Yeah, and you can see here potentially on the replay that Holly doesn't put it off the field, and that's the risk you take. So Emma Singh has been on absolute fire. There's a chase from Shona Campbell, the winger, but she isn't replaced in terms of that defensive positioning. So a little pick off from Mo Hunt, who's incredibly astute, and it's a very simple finish for Mia Venner. So they'll be really pleased with that start. But that's the important thing about your exit strategy. If Sale are going to exit and not chase, then they have to put it off the field so they got numbers on feet to defend from a defensive set piece. So they'll have that conversation, they'll adjust, and hopefully won't be too downhearted, and they'll be straight back up to the other end of the field to make amends.
Mia Venner likes this place in terms of try scoring. Last time she played here in February, she scored a hat-trick from fullback, already with one to her name today.
And she'll be pleased to get on the team sheet, on the scoring sheet, when she all the ball was going over to the other side last week. So yeah, pleasing for her to get no mistakes from Flaky George there. She's sending it straight off the field and putting pressure on that Sale Sharks line out.
So Millie Hindman was excellent in wet conditions last week. Gerald Searcy not the option, instead Casolo at the front. Pip Hendy. Georgia Brock. Mo Hunt's the captain today in the absence of Zoe Stratford.
And there's an interesting contest straight away. Both teams have been absolutely imperious with their line-outs. Zoe Stratford not on the field today, but Sam Monaghan has been picking off line-outs for fun. And she does the same there. So just then a little knock-on, so we go back for the scrum. But first challenge around that line-out. Sale just turning that one over.
The stands at the Mawson Stadium full, as they always are. This season particularly, the Sharks are bringing in the numbers with their style of play, but they have been stung by the champions early on. Normally it's the Sharks that score first. Just caught a little out by Mia Venner.
Those early exchanges just not going Sale Sharks' way. There has been that adjustment. Sophie Benevent coming in has been excellent on the tight head. Nick James is confident in that loose head, but just having to make adjustments late in their preparation.
Ron Lloyd keeps that in, and Duffy hits it downfield. Any ball in these conditions is hard to catch. Flaky George knows that all too well.
That's right.
And it is still coming down. I don't know if you can see that from your screen. But it's going to turn and churn the mud in Sale. And these jerseys will be different colours by half-time.
Crouch.
Olivia Ortiz.
Bind.
Now Sale have massively improved their use of the ball in the middle third. Can they do it again here and be purposeful? Katana Howard missed out. Rona Lloyd comes into play. Here is Shona Campbell. The two top try scorers in the PWR together, both on 7. Erica Jarrell-Searcy. And back to the blind side they go. Lizzie Duffy and Casolo. She's signed on for a big 80 today, Casolo. She always does. And it's going to be massively needed here. Paris Redding. Her kind of conditions. And they're crossing the gain line with purpose, the Sharks. Aitchison finds Casolo, but it now goes to ground.
Forward pass first.
Just forward, trying to push that ball a little too far from Aitchison.
Yeah, and pass selection is going to be really important today in these conditions, Jack. Just really tricky. The ball's already wet and muddy, so push passing and taking that pass selection rather than trying to spin pass is going to be much more favourable. But we can see Sale Sharks going open off a pretty solid scrum. Then coming back to the short side, they're just trying to challenge the defence. Are Gloucester Hartpury going to match up in numbers? Can they create opportunities down one side of the field?
Bind. Six.
Hunt, need to check to see where Ortiz is. Scrum holding. Alex Matthews picks off the back on her return. Counter ruck from Paris Redding. Hunt has a lot of attention on her. None of it welcome. Casolo shunts her to the ground. And they like that here in Sale. Ortiz can't take it away. Penalty for offside. They are on the hunt, the Sharks, though, Susie.
They are. They're seeing these opportunities for counter-rucking. Unfortunate, just got the wrong. And Andrew Jackson was talking to her. No, don't go there. But she, couldn't resist. But you can see the opportunity because of the greasy ball. Mo Hunt was under pressure. They pile through, almost drive her off the pitch, but just managed to stay in field. So, yeah, really positive play.
Space in Gloucester, please. They're on halfway. They're on halfway. So you create space.
Kelsey Jones. Gloucester Hartpury just inside their half. To the middle they go. And this formidable Gloucester Hartpury pack. Rather stopped in their tracks. Chip over from Hunt. This is interesting and plays to the conditions. Penalty, however, against Sophie Benevent.
And that'll be frustrating for Sale Sharks. They put themselves in a really positive position. Again, Jackson, the ref, is talking to Sophie Benevent, but she just doesn't move, and he has no choice then. They've made 50 metres up the field through Sale Sharks' ill discipline, and they'll need to address that.
Two of the league's slickest lineouts in operation today. But what Gloucester Hartpury do with it when it comes back down to grounds, that's the most impressive. It's better to stop them ever getting it back, and that's what Sale do here. Casolo tidying up. Benevent fighting forward. Ortiz charged down by Brock, gets it back again. Campbell came forward to offer herself.
No advantage from the original knock-up.
Just this, a day like today, your process has got to be so accurate, so disciplined. So Olivia Ortiz there looking to put boot to ball, but just not quite got her protection in place. So these early minutes, you've got to get settled into the game.
Shona Campbell tidying up. It's not, on the surface of things, a day for the likes of Shona Campbell. So fast across a flatter track. It's a day for the forwards and the likes of Alex Matthews, of Georgia Brock, of Steph Else. And Gloucester Hartpury in the ascendancy at the scrum.
And these early moments would be concerning for the Sale Sharks in terms of their scrum. The one further up the field is pretty solid and gave them a platform, but that one just too difficult to deal with at the back. And penalty to Gloucester Hartpury to give themselves a first opportunity on the 5 metre line.
Jones, if they get this back down this time, they are going to be gathering round and only heading one way. Jones at the back. They're treading their way forward carefully. Gloucester Hartpury and diving, and Jones is scoring. A second for Gloucester Hartpury. Half caked in mud, half in lilac, but doubling their money.
And I think the conversations behind the post will be about discipline primarily, because there's been two occasions there. The Sale Sharks put themselves in a really good position, but then just gave two very cheap penalties away, and that you can't give those opportunities to Gloucester Hartpury. They're one of the most prolific teams, I think, have the most entries into the attack in 22 and don't often come out without converting them into points. So not surprisingly, that driven line out, one of their massive go-tos, and they're over for a second try.
Emma Singh glances it off the left-hand upright for her first points of the afternoon. She's up to 94 points in the PWR this season. Top point scorer coming into round 10. Aitchison finds some grass to bounce the ball into. George. Ortiz. Oh, Duffy's dropped it. And it was a perfectly acceptable pass from Ortiz. Here go the circus. Steph Else, or Nevo Dowd, excuse me, into contact. George going downfield as well. Such an astute tactical kicker. Claky George now shaking off that drops ball from earlier on in the match. Much better time from Duffy. One for Aitchison to chase. And George has had a third kick in quick succession. That's brilliant. So too from Campbell.
Carried back.
Lloyd. Aitchison finds herself on the left wing all of a sudden. Paris Redding. Sale needing to control this ball and to exit cleanly, because when Gloucester Hartpury turn things over in your own 22, it is bad news. And when Emma Singh gets it in this much space, it can be equally bad news. Here's Claky George. Pip Hendy. does well. Hunt to Matthews, little juggle, and that allows Gerald Searcy and Casolo to take their chance. Tui Pelotu, who scored such a terrific try against Sale in October. George, Kelsey Jones. Extensive passage of play this. George again. Venner. See some space, Mia Venner. And there goes Else in the 47-person training squad for England, aiming to make her first cap in the Six Nations. Now, Gerald Searcy lines up Emma Singh, drives through. Monaghan gets back to her. We all know what she can do from distance like that. Gloucester Hartpury dragging her down. Talling, lovely slip pass onto Childs. Much better from the Sale Sharks. Ortiz needing to keep the tempo high. Aitchison, still a disorganised defence. This is on Emma Singh's head. Lloyd has taken it, drops it in the process. Sharks as close as a drop pass from having their first try after a lengthy, lung-busting passage of play, Susie.
Yeah, it was a really lengthy bit of play, and it was lots of exchange of kick battle territory. In the end, it was actually just pressure on the base of that ruck that put Mo Hunt under real pressure. And then we see Sale Sharks really energised and bursting into life. Some great carries from Gerald Searcy, little nudges, and then Holly looking for that kick pass, which could have been on, but actually we'll go back and we'll go for the line out in a great attacking position.
Sale scored from a driving line out with Amy Cockayne last week. Cockayne on the bench waiting for her time. Katie Childs has this at the back. Now Hindman. Sale needing to convert to keep pace with the champions. And Hindman is steadily making her way forward. Extra shoulders, extra weight being lent on this. Can Hindman find the line? Oh yes, she can. And Sale on the board. They've taken a few batterings in this opening 20 minutes, but they have their own points.
Absolutely outstanding work. We saw that patient approach, the desperation, and I use that word in a really positive way, of Georgie Perris-Redding. We know how disruptive she can be. She turns the ball into Sale Sharks' possession, and this is one of their massive go-tos. It's such a positive part of their play. The driven line out, such a great weapon. Ball to the back, everyone performing their role, and it isn't perfect, but it's effective, and they get themselves over the line. Really well deserved, and that is massively positive to get a score back on the score sheet, and they're back in the game.
Sale have never beaten Gloucester Hartpury. Closest they came was a 17-14 loss at Hartpury University in 2020. They need every point they can gather, and Holly Aitchison nets the first conversion attempt of her afternoon.
And isn't it so brilliant to see that we're not, obviously, we're in the women's game, but we're kicking conversions from the touchline. Emma Singh is absolutely prolific. 84% success rate, top of the league at the moment. And Holly Aitchison is also no slouch, putting it over from nearly the touchline.
A lovely strike from Aitchison, and that's a lovely strike from Howard as well.
That is so much more positive, really organised, kicking it down the field, over the halfway line, and will defend from an organised set-piece defensive position. Much more positive from Sale.
Jones, Monaghan, the line-out caller. It goes to Matthews. No one in Sale challenging that one. Instead, they're focusing on this. Jones at the back. Tui Pelotu wrestling at one of the Sale players who's come right through. It's Talling.
That's a shame there. Moana Talling thought she was legal. She thought she came through, but the referee thought differently. You can hear from the touchline here, Brittany Hogan very involved, although she's not on the field yet, offering advice.
Change off the ball carrier around the outside.
Monaghan's turn this time. Gloucester Hartpury working their way up this touchline again. Line out after line out. Mo Hunt seeing plenty of metres be eaten up by her forwards.
Don't change onto the ball carrier. That's once.
Now Hunt's turn to bring Shekels into the game. She's closed off, Jade Shekels. She's got the cleanest shirt on the pitch, Jade Shekels. I think no longer after that encounter. Jones. Now the big runners in Gloucester Hartpury's ranks will look to punch holes. And there's maybe space on the left-hand side. Oh, picked up brilliantly. What a score. We come all the way back. It was knocked on by Hendy. Well, that would have been some finish.
Start being careful down here. That's a few just starting to stack up there.
And Hendy may be injured in the process of trying to score that. Instead, Gloucester Hartpury back in familiar territory on this touchline. Jones and Mia Venner, the try scorers so far for the champions. Now Sale have a conundrum, how to shut this down. Are they going to get the referee's help? Steph Ells at fault there, Susie.
Couldn't quite see. I think so. I think just blocking the passage there.
Singh heading off on a saunter. Picked up by O'Dowd, Monaghan, the Irish internationals together. Brock. Georgia Brock making yards in contact. A good 5 of them there. George. She has such an array of trickery from her boot. Duffy can only really hit it to the stands.
Yeah, it's pretty smart there. Just threading the ball through from Chlakey George. She's got, I think Pip Hendy stayed down and looks to have injured her wrist in that attempt to score that try. They'll be hoping she doesn't have to go off the field, but she's receiving some attention there. So, yeah, not a bad option to just stick it on the boot and push the ball through. Again, putting pressure on the Sale Sharks' backfield and giving themselves another opportunity at the line out.
Well, Rachel Lund is already on for Pip Hendy, we presume.
It's not a bad option to bring Rachel Lund on. I think she's one of the league's, certainly Gloucester Hartpury's top point scorer. She's been there since I was there all those years ago, since we founded, and you know she is a really, really good player to bring off your bench. Covers centre and wing, so you know very, very experienced. So, but concerning for Pip Hendy, it was a quick decision, obviously, that you know she needs more medical attention. So we wish her well.
Cleggie George so far, Susie, showing that she is a number 10 for all conditions.
She certainly is. She has a full box of tricks there. And that's the interesting thing about these kind of conditions, the kick ability of your 9, your 10, your 15, particularly from a Gloucester Hartpury perspective. That kick axis, 19 kicks in play last week, as I said, and that was on a dry kind of smooth surface. So, in these kind of conditions, it's really important to have the ability to just turn the opposition around, put pressure on them. And that's the importance of putting yourselves in the right area of the field, giving yourselves opportunities through territory. And that's a perfect example of that. But, yeah, Fleaky George is really good at just sitting a little bit deeper, Mo and her connecting, and then just, kick into those areas where there are no players.
This one goes over. So Sale get a reprieve again. A couple of line-outs in a row going wrong from Gloucester Hartpury. And does Sale choose to play this out of their half? Aitchison is back in the pocket. Paris Redding will get it next. A couple of easy outs being given by Gloucester Hartpury to Sale, Susie.
Yeah, and again, that discipline will be frustrating in terms of their coaching box. Just it's tricky handling day, so just take a little step behind. You can put a lot of defensive pressure on. Just don't give away easy territory through penalties. So momentum's shifting a little bit back into Sale Sharks' favour. Let's see what they can do with this opportunity. Holly will be having a good look into the backfield. Is the space down the middle of the field to put these two backfield defenders into very difficult positions.
Hindman's throw in the wet. That's an excellent arrow from Millie Hindman. Gerald Searcy got it back on Sale's side. Benevents all knocked back here. Gloucester Hartpury off the line well. They have been working on their defence this week. That's an area that Dan Murphy's identified where they need to be a little more robust. Talling knows the way to get through even the sternest of defences. Howard, Duffy, good hands here now. Shona Campbell in space for the first time this afternoon. Sheckles comes across and she's shut that down brilliantly into the mud and into the sheds, it seems, the dugout, excuse me.
Yeah, went through 3 phases of the play there, Sale Sharks. Got the ball into Shona Campbell's hands, but then it's a 1v3 effectively, and it's, she's not the biggest, so she's quite easily driven into touch and effectively made about 20 metres up the field. This is where that territory and smart composure will come to the fore.
And poor Shona Campbell took a bang to the head as well on the top of the dugout. Here's Dalla Valle. Howard doesn't give away the penalty. Andrew Jackson happy with the effort made. Here's Tui Polotu. Hunt still fizzing passes in the mud away to George. And she collects them as if it's a summer day at Queensland. Sale don't get that away quick enough. And Gloucester Hartpury have pinched it.
I think that's where Gloucester Hartpury is so good in every aspect. Just identifying, there's no protection around that ruck. It's near the edge of the field and often an area where you can go for that counter ruck. And they do that really, really effectively and end up earning themselves a penalty. But again, just that little probing kicks. Fleaky George went over the top with that one. It was fielded, but again, can Sale Sharks get numbers around the ball effectively and quickly enough? And as just described, they couldn't quite protect their ruck enough. Recognised by Jade Sheckles, one of the best, and put themselves in another great position.
Was Fleaky George putting deliberate backspin on that ball, Susie?
Yep, she's a fantastic footballer. She knows all the tricks, and she spends an awful lot of time out perfecting any kind of kicks that she can manage.
Great take from Matthews at the top of her reach. Sheckles has a little check to make sure she gathered it.
Tackle now, move!
Just impeded the line she was hoping to cut. Monaghan's made a half break. Now here's Beckett. We haven't seen much of her so far this afternoon. Makes yards, of course. Brock, the next player to go into contact. George, nice pass across the face. It's going to land in Venner's hands. Campbell needs to track her. And Aitchison helps. Hunt. Monaghan again, she slips it to Jones. In these conditions, that is excellent skills from Gloucester Hartpury. O'Dowd is next. Hunt wants this tempo to stay high. They are causing Sale problems in defence now. They can't realign quick enough. This is out to Shekels, she juggles with it. Then it comes all the way across.
Tackle now, Sale.
Very different type of game which Gloucester Hartpury having to play compared with last weekend. O'Dowd. Tackled by Benevent. Sale having to be wary of when the width will come. And wary of Sarah Beckett. Now there's a little more on it. Lovely tip on here. Dalla Valle and Singh sliding in to score in the corner. Gloucester Hartpury making these conditions look straightforward, and they are anything but.
Yeah, they really are. What a patient build-up by Gloucester Hartpury. They must have gone through 10, 11 phases there. Just carry after carry. See Niamh O'Dowd getting at least 3 or 4 touches on the ball. Lovely inside ball from Sam Monaghan on one occasion. Just making those extra little meters, and then hands there. Just really lovely tip on from Hannah Della Valle, I think, to get Singers over the line. But it's flaky there, and then just a 2v1 executed really well. But you know, good defensive sets from Sale Sharks, but ultimately you're going to run out of players.
Emma Singh looking to convert her own try and take her beyond 100 points for the season. She's on 99 after the try, and she'll have to wait a little longer.
You can see the colour of the players' shirts already. You know, it is very challenging conditions out there, but Sale Sharks will have to be having that conversation. Let's not play in our own half of the field. Let's put the ball down there, get defensive pressure on, and turn possession into our favour.
17 points to 7 at the half-hour mark. How will the Sharks coaches be looking at that scoreline, Susie, and given what's happened so far?
They'll be a little bit frustrated, as I said. Discipline is massive for them. They need to cut out these unnecessary penalties that they're giving away. And Andrew Jackson is talking to them, so there's no excuses. But also, as I've just talked about, you know, where should we play the ball? What pass selection should we make? All those simple things. But territory and discipline are the 2 key areas, I think, and they'll be able to get themselves back into this game.
Scoreline-wise, what we're not seeing, given the vexing conditions, is that Emma Singh has missed 2 of her 3 conversions. So what would normally be a 21-7 lead at Kingsholm is just a 10-point gap.
Tackle, release.
Sale in the middle of the pitch again. Can they spring from this and break the line? Great counter from Tuipulotu. Taken by Lund. Relatively fresh on the park. Down the blind side goes Hunt. Susie, away from how this match is going for both teams, these conditions are enormously fun for the players, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. This is why you play rugby. Come to a nice old-school pitch like Haywood Road. But I just want to make mention of that. So, good conversations behind the sticks, clearly. They went to one of their go-tos, which was a driven line-out, using their forwards, come into the middle of the field to the 15, forcing a penalty, and look where they're ending up. So it's not a complicated game. They are very, very good players, and they'll be really pleased with those last few minutes.
Millie Hindman has got the cleanest ball to throw in with here. Looks for tallying, but it's taken. Monaghan
This is carried back.
hardly getting much of a lift. That was mostly her own jumping.
Sorry. Yeah, inside now.
Singh doesn't have a clean shot of it. Gets it away now. Good take from Lloyd. She's kept herself in. Duffy has to step quickly here. And she's done well, Lizzie Duffy. But straight through, the ruck is a mess. Gloucester Hartpury are making a mess of it. Swarming over Sale at the contact. And George sees a lot of space in behind here. Wills is turning. She's had to watch this carefully. Venner is after her, gets a foot to it. Wills picks it up. The Scottish international. Sling of a pass out to Benevent. It's gone backwards, so play on. Paris Redding always plays on. Talling. Little tip on, it's been tapped and it's been chased after here by Mo Hunt. She's going to win the race, is she? Not quite getting it down. Great set of heels from Mo Hunt.
Yeah, great scramble there from Sale. Just seeing his, great work from Holly. Just beating Mo to the ball there and saving the day. Oh, yeah. Great call from Andrew Jackson there. Definitely a knock on.
We don't have a TMO up in Sale. So Jackson unable to refer that anywhere else. Had to make the call in the moment and made a good one. Monaghan. Good carry into the 22 again. The let up is not coming for Sale. They're under pressure again. Hunt. Monaghan breaking the line, flicking it out the back to herself there. O'Dowd. The Irish internationals loving these conditions. They are everywhere. Now Singh chips ahead. Emma Singh to try and dive down on it, and Lloyd was covering.
Tell you what, they've got to be sharp on this because this ball is going to floor and they're getting boots on it and just taking opportunities to nudge it through. I'm loving the way that Gloucester Hartpury, they're not scared to play, so they're still, Flecky is just tightening up to those forward pods, taking ball out the back, getting ball into space a little bit further out. So they want to play into that space. They just need to sharpen up their skill sets, but they're making really good choices in terms of their pass selections, which is allowing them to make territory up the field despite the conditions.
How is Sale scrum now? It's been a while since we've had the two packs locking horns. Not that, Susie, this was necessarily your area as a player, but as a DOR for a long time, I'm sure you've picked up plenty of intelligence around the scrum. Conditions such as this, it almost makes it less about technique, does it, and more about weight?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got a hefty old scrum in terms of the weight, Sale Sharks, but then I think they'll be encouraging them players to get the ball in and out as quickly as they can, not to dwell around in that 8v8 contest.
Needs to get back for that to happen, and it has come out on the other side again. Matthews picks and goes off the base. Paris Redding gets back to try and shut her down. Venner switches side. Jones. Monaghan. George. Shekels has dropped it. Lloyd has taken it. It takes so long to get going in these conditions. Even if you make an interception like that for Lloyd, if there's anyone near her, they're going to have a better chance of hauling her back than on a dry day. H's, and this is high, towering, taken well by Venner. Lloyd tracking. Change of direction with Georgia Brock. Casolo read that perfectly, and she's taken it on the floor. Now Shekels takes it back. Hindman. The number of contacts in this first half are getting to ever higher levels. It is now the Sharks with Wills. who want to seek some space. He'll show and go. And Katie Childs. Duffy plays fly half. Oh, Talling has done brilliantly not to lose that. But she's got Beckett and Tui Polotu onto her. If she gets this back on Sale's side, that's superb work, but she won't.
And you can see Holly looking to her box of tricks. We talked about Hlekis, but she's looking for that high crossfield kick because Rona Lloyd is fabulous under the ball. She's got 4 back this season already in their favour. So can they regain possession? However, after that, I think a little bit of overplaying in their own half. Again, very guilty of that, actually. And could they have just turned them around, spotted some space that had been vacated by the Gloucester back 3 and taken some really good territory?
Crouch. 5. 6.
Hunt feeds, and Sale this time get a turn on and a penalty, and that'll be welcome. That will be very welcome indeed for Sale Sharks' scrum coach Luke Stratford.
Yeah, I'll be really pleased with that. And you can see that penalty really is going in Nick James's favour. So really builder of confidence there for Sale Sharks. Yes, they've had to make adjustments in their props and their positioning. However, to be turning a scrum around like that is absolutely fantastic.
But afterwards, it's not a great look, is it? From both of you.
I didn't touch it.
That's textbook school teacher work from Andrew Jackson, isn't it? Just letting players arrive at the conclusion themselves.
Absolutely, and Georgie Perez-Redden is going to be really loving that kind of encounter. Kelsey Jones is also never going to take a backwards foot, so a little bit of banter gone on there. But ultimately, Sale Sharks have an opportunity of a line out. Look like they're going to look for another good go-to of theirs, another potentially a driven line out or coming off the base of it.
Jones and Perez-Redding round 1. But it's Gloucester Hartpury that have spoiled the line out. First half, close to its conclusion. Emma Singh thinks that time is up. And she has, of course, got the right information. So that's where we close the book on the first 40 in Sale. Gloucester Hartpury with 3 tries, Sale with 1. And in the conditions, it is the Gloucester Hartpury pack which is carrying the day at the moment. They are their usual monstrous selves, but they're translating that into the mud and the wet with great flexibility. They lead 17 points to 7 at halftime.
I'm better in my new era.
Tigers' bodies everywhere on the floor. Oh, and they're under that again. Phenomenal defensive effort. Middlebrook, she stopped short. Nye with hands on the ball. Now the chance to put some width on it. Sinclair checks back inside, dancing feet, and under the posts. On her 50th appearance, Ailey Sinclair opens the scoring, and that'll feel good.
Skeldon pops it on to Hopkins. And there's Davis. Dement has spotted some space. Lovely break from the Black Fern. Rohe Dement all the way, and she's in.
That is pure class. Just great vision there, and just to go and finish like that is amazing.
By Dowd. Oh, thundered into by Brody and Sangapolu. Beautiful hands. It's not if, it's who will score, and it's Metcalf for a double. Carbon copy to the first. Brutality from the pack. Crisp hands from the backs. Metcalf with the finishing touch.
Lloyd, Duffy is in field, and everyone tracks back to try and make some space on this left-hand side. Lloyd is opening things up with her speed, and there goes Rona Lloyd, sees the gap. Evie Wills in support, lofts it over to Howard. Lovely touch. Here's Campbell for the line. This will be something. This will be something for Shona Campbell and the scintillating Sharks around her. A try conjured from nothing, and the ambition of this Sharks outfit brought to bear.
Wall looking for options to her left, but goes inside instead. McGovern, chip to the corner. Buchanan, can she win the race? Yes, she can. A fabulous score. Heads up Rugby. And Katie Buchanan dots down for Chiefs.
New era.
Welcome back, everybody. It's half-time here in Sale. 17 points to 7 for Gloucester Hartpury. Still, this one is out there on the table for either team. But the first half really felt like Gloucester Hartpury had a vast majority of the ascendancy for most of the minutes. Let's have a look at the tries they scored from that. And Susie, it started from the beginning. Really surprisingly, Sale seemed like the team that hadn't got off the bus, even though...
Yeah, if you just watch this kick chase here, so we end up with the winger just on the floor, and they never populate the short side. So as that ball comes back into Gloucester Hartpury's favour, it's an easy pick-off for Mia Venner. So just that decision around kicking it off the field, keeping it on the field, but then the process around it. But yeah, very early score for Mia Venner.
That was the last time we saw players wearing their colours as they should look. After that, it was a little bit more mud and blood. This was one of their key weapons in the half. Yeah,
and it came from a couple of indiscretions, couple of penalties that walked basically Sale back up the field into their own 22, and then Gloucester Hartpury went to work. They haven't got Zoe on the field today, however, business as usual in terms of their driven line out. Really pleasing then to see Sale Sharks turn it around. Some really great defensive pressure from Georgie Peris-Redding in particular. Jarrell Searcy gets her hands on the ball and they move their way up the field, force a penalty, and this is the end result. A driven line out again. You know, it's a battle of those line outs. Sale Sharks has been so good around their line out. 85% success, and absolutely deserved, very well deserved in terms of getting a score on the team sheet.
Gloucester Hartpury would add another, and this was the backs involved. They did have some fun. Great handling here.
Yeah, it's just a really patient build-up. There's loads of forward carries, and then seeing an opportunity. Nice little 4v3 on the edge there. Nothing Georgie Peris-Redding could do, and Singers gets over for her try. So, yeah, it's not a done deal. There'll be some adjustments, some conversations going on in the changing rooms about how to embrace the conditions probably a little better, especially from Sale Sharks' perspective. But 17-7. This is still a game that's up for grabs for both teams.
It's going to be great to see second half just how things play out. Sharks more than capable of scoring tries against the best teams in the league. They've taken a bonus point out of nearly every match that they've played. They are still ahead of Bristol in the league, courtesy of their bonus points, even though Bristol now have 2 wins. So they know where they can score, and they just need to put it a little bit more together. I suppose, though, that the weight, the power of Gloucester Hartpury, Susie, in the second half will have even more of a say.
Yeah, but, both teams have now got really good benches, and that's where Sale Sharks have built really well. So Brittany Hogan's on the bench. They've got other power players. Evie Roach, even though they had to make changes in their props, Evie Roach is a very accomplished player. She's come up from Gloucester Hartpury, ironically. It came through the pathway there. So both good benches. You can't look further than, the 2 World Cup winners on Gloucester Hartpury's bench. So the benches are going to have a big impact, but most importantly, it's playing these conditions more effectively from Sale Sharks' perspective. Make sure you give yourselves move yourselves up the field, give yourselves good territory and field position to allow you to then basically convert into points. But as you've just touched on, they score 4 tries virtually every game. It's really, really brilliant how they're, building themselves as a squad. Holly is a real threat. Holly's combining with their centre field, Katana Howard, is a powerful carrier, one of the best carriers in the league. And they've got wingers that want to finish tries. They want to get either, on the end of kicks or just ball in hand and scoring tries that way. So, as I said, there's lots of optimism, and this should be a really good whole 80 minutes of rugby, not 40 minutes, 80 minutes, which is why this league is so exciting these days.
Well, let's have a look at how things are in the table before coming into this round. Another 8 rounds still to come. Some teams obviously with a bye round within that, but after 8, Gloucester Hartpury with 5 points from every single encounter. But there is Sale on 14 despite it just a 1 win. Had they won last week, of course, they would really be in the mix with Loughborough and Trailfinders. They could still be in that mix within this block if a few things go their way and they get more bonus points out of it as well. But no one... that top 4, Susie, seems obtainable for quite a few teams, at least the 4th position.
It is, and that's, like talking to Gloucester, the guys at Chiefs last week, they really want to separate themselves in terms of those top 4. Loughborough not playing this weekend is helpful for them, but the top 4 is a very, very competitive place to be. But Trailfinders are doing really well, Loughborough doing really well, as you touched on, and we've just talked about Sale also putting things together, massive improvements. Bristol, we saw them last week, massively improving again. There's a huge game of them against Trailfinders this weekend. So the table is really, really competitive, and there's no turning up and wondering, thinking it's a done deal anymore. Every game is competitive. So, yep, Gloucester Hartpury are very much in control at the top of the table. But Saracens back on the field this weekend. So, it's just a great league to be playing in.
Let's have a look at the matches elsewhere across the weekend. So mark your cards for them if we can. Earlier today we had Bristol Trailfinders. That's ongoing at the moment. That started before our match, about half an hour before. Bears leading Trailfinders at Shaftesbury Park. Can they go back-to-back there at home? And then tomorrow, we'd love to have your company, Leicester Tigers against Saracens. Saracens on the road at Welford Road. The TNT game will be Harlequins against Exeter Chiefs at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Susie, these conditions, they do remind, I'm sure, everyone around the stands, but maybe those of you watching on from home as well, of the good old tradition of festival rugby when we were younger, and getting mud all down your leg, across your face, and then in between games trying to enhance the mud as well to make yourselves look like you've been in it even more.
Yeah, and trying to spot anyone that's got a clean shirt at the end of the game. Chatting to Emma Singh earlier, not her most favoured conditions, I don't think, as a back 3. But, this is rugby. This is the brilliance of it, isn't it? You can see everybody's come to watch because it's such a great spectacle now. That stand is full over there. And, getting muddy, getting kids up and running. The kids playing here before. This is rugby, isn't it? It's what it's all about. So, rough and tumble, loads of tackling, catch pass, looking, all these skill sets on show. It's just brilliant despite the mud and the conditions.
Well, we look forward to seeing Asia Hojigan Rochester maybe in the second half to make her, not debut for Sale, but proper time on the pitch. Not her conditions. The last time she really played in England was, of course, that sunny day at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham, in the World Cup final, where she scored 2 tries. The last 2 encounters she's been involved in here, Bristol, it was pelting it down. Here, it's been pelting it down. A very different type of England that she's experiencing. But we understand she's having a very good time, and we might be able to see her in the second half, which will be coming up very shortly after a short break.
New era.
We are Sale Sharks.
We fear no one. This is our city.
the only team in the north, and that is something that we're so proud of. I think anybody north of the Midlands is going to get behind Sale Sharks.
We have such a loyal fan base. You can always hear the drums and the die-hard fans who show up to every match, rain or shine.
I'm so excited to play at Hayward Road. It's always an amazing atmosphere whenever I've been there before, and yeah, just to be back home.
Sale are going to bring passion, they're going to bring team in rugby, they're going to bring a lot of flair, and it's going to be an exciting time to be in the north.
We're going to score some pride.
Bring it on.
Winning the PWR is super special. So you're doing it 3 times now. It has been incredible.
The 3, he is there.
We're going to go for the 4th this year. Playing for Gloucester is super special. We take a lot of pride and enjoyment in what we do. I think that's what keeps us tight and keeps us close. When we get those really tough moments, our friendships are what keep us together.
Come on, Gloucester!
We love our fans. We love it when the Shed are shouting for us on the pitch, and it's kind of like that 16th man. We are Gloucester Hartpury. We fear no one. Bring it on.
New era.
Less than a minute. We understand until kick-off, although the players are keeping themselves sensibly tucked away in the changing rooms before they really have to come out. The good news is the rain has stopped here in Sale. It's now even a hint of balminess around Hayward Road.
Very generous, Jack.
Yes, perhaps a little. Tatiana Hurd coming out for the second half, which is exciting to see, particularly from an England perspective. And England players starting to be tracked, I suppose, a bit more, Susie, ahead of the Six Nations, which begins in April. Long time away to go still, but the performances of Mia Venner, someone who's, I'm sure, looking to try and fulfill that number 14 shirt that Abby Dow has vacated now, impressing so far. And Hurd, probably a shoo-in for the England starting team, no doubt, but nonetheless important to impress in every match now, building up to the Six Nations.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Amy Cocaine's out there as well, Courtney Keats. I think Kate Williams has come onto the Gloucester side as well, so some changes, people rolling, teams rolling their benches. I think it'd be really important for Amy Cocaine to be getting minutes, lots of minutes ahead of that, ahead of Six Nations selection, having missed a fair few because of injury. So it's nice to see her on the field and getting an opportunity.
Gloucester Hartpury leading 17 points to 7 in Sale. Holly Aitchison and her crew with a chance still, though, to do what no team has done this season and land a victory over Gloucester Hartpury. It is going to take the most monumental of second halves, but it is possible. In these conditions, anything is. And Amy Cocaine straight into the blood and thunder, and straight away having an impact. She's won the ball back for her team.
Absolutely, she's got such great upper body strength. She gets her arms wrapped around that ball, and maybe that's a change of tactic for Sale Sharks. Can they get that ball wrapped up? And as we know, double shot there with Nick James, keep that ball tied in, and therefore earning themselves a scrum opportunity. Great start for Sale Sharks.
They've had so few 22 entries, Sale and Gloucester Hartpury. I can only count a couple of occasions. This is almost to the 22, not quite, but a great field position they won't want to pass up. Aitchison goes off by herself, pops it on to Lloyd, who just holds her hand up. They had conjured some space for Rona Lloyd.
Yeah, it's a shame, that one. She was asking Livia Ortiz to give the ball early, but didn't quite get the ball early enough, and just a little spill from Rona then.
Brock goes off the back. Good line from Beckett. An excellent tackle from Talling. George. Oh, almost excellently taken by Benevent. Effectively a knock-on in the end. Hunt. Numbers here, and Ortiz up against Beckett. And then Else into contact, gets it back to Sarah Beckett. Monaghan and O'Dowd, and they're straight back into it, aren't they? The Irish duo who seem to have a connection, stay very close to each other on the field. That's gone backwards. Tatiana Hurd. Monaghan again, good tackle on the towering second row from Ortiz. Talling has gone in there. Furious contest for the ball. It becomes a prized pill in these conditions. That's where the phrase is most relevant. Protecting it is everything. Courtney Keat comes up on the field after half-time. Her first contact of the match. Talling, Aitchison, Benevent. Ortiz and the forwards combining nicely. That's intercepted, and O'Dowd is away from Cocaine. It is difficult to see who's who in these kind of conditions at times. You can understand why you might make that confusion. Lloyd, and Hunt is just going to shunt Rona Lloyd into touch. Scrum to Sale.
And like we talked about at the half, really smart there from Mo Hunt. Just ball in the middle of the field, not making any ground, so let's just put the ball up in the air and test Courtney Keats' positioning, who's come on at fullback for Lizzie Duffy. She's a little bit deep, but managed to field the ball and take it back upfield. So just a little bit of smart, astute field positioning from Mo Hunt's perspective.
Now on the field for Sale comes Brittany Hogan, and I think she's been licking her lips since the first minute of this match to get involved in it.
Oh my gosh, she's been commentating the game.
Yeah.
Sat near us.
Now she gets to influence it. At number 8 as well. So much is made of Aoife Wafer and her carrying ability, but when Ireland have the choice of both Hogan and Wafer, they tend to put Wafer at blindside flanker or open side and give Brittany Hogan the number 8 shirt. That's just how much they admire her ball carrying skills. And she gets it right away here. She's in the blue scrum hat. Aitchison puts height on this rather than distance because Lloyd is going to come forward this. Kate Williams is completely levelled. That's Talling again. She's putting in a shift this afternoon. Brock goes off into contact. Hurd has dropped it. Paris Redding fighting hard to go through 1 and then 2, and Hurd has to get back. She makes so many more metres than you think she's going to make, Georgie Paris Redding.
Yeah, she's small, but she's powerful. She gets that leg drive going and makes her way up the field. She's so aggressive with those contacts. But again, Holly just looking for that kick option to put that area in front of the winger under pressure. Not quite as she planned, but still quite a good advantage gain for them.
Solid scrum from Sale. Ortiz to Howard. Her turn to put it high. Courtney Keat is underneath this. Hogan comes through. Singh on the outside. Tackle from Lloyd was a good one. Brock, George, Beckett at full tilt. Now Hurd plays first receiver, bringing in George. Lovely bump away from Shekels, and away go Gloucester Hartpury. Kick forward by Childs. Advantage being played. So much more ball in play time in these kind of conditions. They are having to find so many energy reserves, these players out on the field, and Sale at the end of that passage with a penalty.
great energy into that defensive set, just really getting off the line. Not a great fold around the corner, but that pressure just putting on Cleakey there, and that energy for Brittany Hogan to make an impact, get over the ball and earn her side a penalty, taking themselves down towards the attacking 22. Brilliant bit of work from Sale Sharks.
Cocaine.
Keep coming in, Sale. Keep coming in, Samika. Perfect, thank you.
Receives the instructions. Goes for Brittany Hogan. It's taken by O'Dowd. She's sprinting away. Then Williams gets it off Hunt. Penalty for Sharks again. Paris Redding is having a field day.
She is having a great day on the floor. These line-out drills are not going to plan. I'm sure there was conversations in the change room, but obviously bearing in mind that Gloucester Hartpury are prolific at turning people's line-outs over. But I think hopefully they'll just be simplifying the drills, putting themselves in a really good position here to hopefully convert into points from Sale Sharks' perspective.
An exciting moment for one of Sale's newest signings. Asia Hogan-Rochester makes her home debut. Scant minutes down in Bristol, but she did make an appearance. Now it's the Hayward Road experience. She takes up her place on the left wing. Hunt. Plenty of numbers after this. Sale get it back though. Gerald Searcy thundering through a few numbers in the tight. Talling resets. Sale getting into their stride now. Cocaine bringing impetus off the bench again. O'Dowd's standing up to her. Katie Childs. Cocaine with so many options outside her. Wants to challenge the defence physically. Howard. Courtney Keat comes in. Gerald Searcy. Well, she's done well here because Gloucester Hartpury is so well set. And they're shutting down most of these forays forward from Sale. But again, another penalty. And off goes Ortiz. She's taken it on herself. Paris Redding in support. Into the 22 again. A rare visit for the Sharks today. Talling. Aitchison. Don't think she's knocked it on. But they'll have to reset. Howard. Dummy and go from Katana Howard. Now it's Gloucester Hartpury's turn for the advantage. And when they have to defend, when they want the ball back, they so often get it. Emma Singh comes up with it this time.
Yeah, and Emma Singh is so good in attack, but she's also so energetic and accurate in defence. Another jackal turnover for her, taking a season tally, I think, up to 7. So, yeah, they love attacking, but they also love to defend and make sure people are not breaching their lines. Again, Sale Sharks frustrated at that line out. It's just Sam Monaghan getting up in front of the line out jumper, Gerald Searcy, and just, again, Gloucester Hartpury showing themselves to be so good in defensive line-out drills as well as their attack.
It's a line change from Gloucester Hartpury. Maud Muir is on, as well as Rani Samuda and Bethan Lewis. Very useful players to bring on in any conditions. Jones just knocks that on.
No, she'll be frustrated with that. They're on the move there. The drill, line-out drill straight to Sam Monaghan. Really good. Ball to the back. Kelsey Jones motoring up the field, but just a little knock on. frustrating for them. Another opportunity for Sale Sharks.
They've been holding firm in the scrum in the second half. Started to go backwards all too readily in the first.
First time we've gone straight to ground. We need our feet underneath ourselves to keep that spin in the air. Same on.
Again, Holly will be scanning that field in front of her. Is the space in behind that defensive line? Handling proving very challenging for both sides, so how can they make ground up the field?
Brittany Hogan goes quickly, and they spring into action again, the Sharks. Wills, good fend on Shekels, but then Rachel Lund tidies up for Gloucester Hartpury, and they get it back. I mean, it's possession being changed over so frequently. It must be so hard, Susie, to keep control of your own ball.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's that, could it be a good option to just bring that defensive line up and look for a little kick over the top and turn them around? But, you know, we're kind of getting stuck in the middle of the field there. And again, Gloucester Hartpury adopting the tactic of that choke tackle then, really good, clamping the ball, couldn't go anywhere, and therefore ends up with a Gloucester Hartpury scrum. New front row, see how they go.
Goes down. George. Shekels has to turn before she can get going. Has done pretty well considering, but in contact again. The encouraging thing for the Sharks, Susie, is that plenty of teams are out of sight by now against Gloucester Hartpury. Coming on for an hour, the game has gone. It hasn't here. No points in the second half yet, but it's only going to take a breakaway score, and they're going to be right in the hunt.
Yeah, indeed. The longer they stay in this fight, the more they frustrate Gloucester Hartpury, the better they're going to feel. And you're going to sit here every time they do something positive, you get the banging of the hoardings, such positivity, such good chat amongst the players. So you're quite right then. Just can we solidify, can we get this good scrum and see if they can get themselves into a good field position.
Ortiz has an excellent platform here. That's a bobler, which Aitchison does well. There's Hogan Rochester for the first time. And she's knocked back by Rachel Lund. And then the cavalry arrive to ruck over. Tally. Now she's being shunted in arrears. And Gloucester Hartpury, momentum machine that they are, have the turnover.
See, it's so difficult to handle. I get they want to get Asia Hogan-Rochester on the ball, but there's a 3-pass set there, and they end up spilling the ball. It's so difficult to handle. Again, I'd be urging them to just kick the ball and play up in the Gloucester Hartpury half. Turn them around, make them defend. Classic. Sometimes it's better to play without the ball, Jack.
This kind of field position, though, will surely be run. George Hurd. Much more intent this time into contact from Tatiana Hurd. She's now at the rhythm of the game. Diving in was Ortiz, doing it the back rower's job there, the scrum half. Monaghan, who has been absolutely everywhere, knocks it on. Ortiz kicks this downfield. Lloyd is chasing after it. Singh has gone back. Little step from Emma Singh. Then she scampers out of one tackle, spins through another. Very well tidied up by Emma Singh. George. Spin from Beckett. Howard has come through here and got it. Lifts it off the floor. Beckett, though, was the person she passed to. Mia Venner chips ahead herself. Good speed from Venner. Taps it once more. Venner looking for the third contact. She'll put it on the toe for herself to chase it all the way home. Howard has got back. And Sale survive. Mia Venner with wonderful skill in the wet. Now can Sale get themselves out of this spot? The forwards need to create some extra space for Aitchison. Aitchison does get it away under a lot of pressure, Holly Aitchison, and she's got good distance there.
Yeah, really nice clearance from Holly, taken up to the 22. But you could see there, I think they're almost struggling to see who their own players are, such as the colour of the shirts. There's lots of kind of changing in terms of possession. But lovely skills from Mia Venner. She's a great footballer. She's not getting many opportunities today, especially ball in hand. So she's keeping it on the toe. Just, good scrambling back from Sale Sharks to save themselves on that occasion. But still under massive pressure defensively.
Mia Venner looks like the only player whose speed is unaffected by the surface underneath her. She was flying there. Olivia Ortiz takes her leave. Really good performance from the Shark scrum half today, and she receives a fair dose of applause from those in the stands. Hunt. Maud Muir involved here. Wide pass to Hurd. Beckett was next to her. Made a good dent. Hurd again. Call was to go back inside from Monaghan. There are numbers here for Gloucester Hartpury. Hurd again. Venner again. Venner scrambles out of one contact. Finds Shekels. Keeping this alive well. Monaghan. George. Nothing else she could do with that. Sharks are going to pinch the Sharbe. Cocaine. Amy Relf, the new scrum half on. Big wide pass here. Keats might have had the chance to release Hogan Rochester. And what a joy that would have been to see.
Yeah, you could see her identifying the space. The pass just fell away. The power of the pass just drifted away from Courtney Keat. But there was definitely space out there for them to attack. What I like is that they're not getting an awful lot of opportunities, but they really want to take the opportunities, to find the space, to move the ball there. And they're energising each other. You can see here such positive chat between the players on the Sale Shark side.
20 minutes left at Mawson Stadium, Hayward Road. No points in this second half. Emma Singh, Mia Venner and Kelsey Jones, the try scorers in the first half. Millie Hyman for Sale, their try scorer. Strong platform. And it keeps going. And Matthews at the back doesn't even need to play. Now, Gloucester Hartpury haven't been this close to the try line for a while. And although George doesn't connect as she might have liked to, 10 metres out, if they get this down from the line out, this could be very dangerous. taken in the middle. Jones goes in, plugs herself into the pack at the back. Hunt has a little look down the blind side with Venner. This is going to be alighted to Hurd. Little space for Tatiana Hurd. 5 metres away go Gloucester Hartpury. George running the back line again. Singh has a chance here with a 2-on-1, and Lund will slide in, get up again, and then score. It's taken a while for Gloucester Hartpury to hit their straps, but they do again. And they were so precise in the mud for try number 4 from Rachel Lund.
Yeah, you can see the drills, really well executed line out, moving forward. And then it's just a good carry from Tat Hurd to set the platform. Really efficient handling from the backs. Everyone just square on the ball, nice square hips, good execution. Really too difficult for Courtney Keat to do anything about that.
So George now with the kicking duties. Distance more than enough, but just to the left. 22 points to 7. And that possible avenue back for Sale, Susie, is so much more unlikely now.
Yeah, it is, but hopefully they're staying very positive. Be interesting to see if Holly goes for a shorter contestable kick from this restart, or whether they stick with going long and then back in their line out. Line out just has been a bit frustrated by the efficiency of Gloucester Hartpury, but same tactic. Sale Sharks line out on the halfway line. Certainly speaks volumes for the defensive efforts of the Gloucester Hartpury line out. Sam Monaghan's effort, she's been picking Sale Sharks off at will.
Cocaine to Hogan and Ralph, and that's nicely done. And Howard met on the gain line and taken down on the gain line. Here's Tysh Harper, good slip of the ball. Back inside to Cocaine. And Aitchison over to Hogan Rochester's wing. Gobbled up by Shekels.
Just Holly there, not quite connecting with that kick pass she was looking for, but carrying from Jade, and they don't quite get numbers to that breakdown. It's about the third time. It's good decision from Sale Sharks to just get over that ball and get a jackal opportunity. And let's see if Amy can connect with the new connections that are now on the field. See if she can hit Brittany Hogan on this.
Gerald Searcy, really high climb. Aitchison, this is smooth into the midfield. Childs, and they've made this all the way to Hogan Rochester, who's lined up again by Shekels. Tysh Harper. Ralph, Aitchison, and Childs. Gloucester coming up very quickly, but they were onside. Nick James. Gerald Searcy wants to go off by herself, beats a couple and then has that door firmly closed. And that was by Maud Muir. Who else? Howard. Talling. Harper. Aitchison. That drops to the feet of Wills. Nothing she could do about that. And Sale just making negative meters before losing the ball. Monaghan from Muir's pass. And Brock again. Beckett, watched by Hogan. And Courtney Keat watches that well. George. Oh, she's seen a lot of space in here. Gets it over Rona Lloyd. Just about. Hogan Rochester. Kicks this down towards Emma Singh. And Singh can open this up here. Big wide pass over the top on the right-hand side. Shekels is moving and still going. Now they are coming onto this at speed, Gloucester Hartpury. Sensing another. Sensing that Sale can be put to the sword with one more. George. Monaghan. Taken out in the air. Or rather, penalty was already coming.
Yeah, just really difficult. Some skewed kicks there that end up in Emma Singh's hands. And when she sees an open field, she wants to find space. Good connection with Jade Shekels out on that far side of the field. Really great pass off her left hand in really difficult conditions to then put Sale Sharks back on the back foot and force another infringement, which ends up in another lethal, potentially, try-scoring opportunity for Gloucester Hartpury.
Jones's throw is disrupted by Sale. Cocaine kicks this very nicely down the field. On at 21 is Sian Jones. Venner has cut a really good line here. Mia Venner. Muir on the offensive once more. They're breaking tackles left, right and centre now, Gloucester Hartpury. Beckett's pass out to Lund. Lloyd is trying to shut them down. Beckett is coming at speed here. Sarah Beckett. Hunt arrives. George. Good take from Williams. Sale managed to slow it down, but it's going to speed up again. Muir, lovely hands here. Samuda rolls, gets it away. 2 metres out from Sale's line. Hunt, crossfield, kicks it to the corner here. And waiting to claim it is Sian Jones. It's going to bounce forward over the line, and Monaghan won't score it. It was a knock-on.
You see that lovely interconnecting play with the forwards. Gloucester Hartpury just sparking into life, the energy when they transition and get hands on the ball. And the props, just Rani Samuda on the ball, Maud Muir on the ball. Really nice option from Mo to just try and connect with a load of space on that far right-hand side, but just a little knock-on, frustrated in the end. Really nice attacking play, and it's 1-23. These Gloucester Hartpury players have such a good awareness and good skill sets that they are so threatening when they come ball in hand.
Sale scrum is going to be put under scrutiny again. It goes down. Hogan will get it back. She pumps the legs to make a few yards sideways, but also going forwards. Enough for Aitchison to work this to touch.
Nicely done. Hunt brings in Sheckles. Lovely line from Sheckles. Now, another power carry with Harper defending. Fresh on the field is Lucy Simpson. Really bringing the high knees into that contact. Little juggle from George, so she doesn't get it away. Paris Redding is onto this. She gets moved along the line. Monaghan still charging at the line. And Sale have earned themselves a knock-on and therefore their own scrum. And they are still defending resolutely.
They really are, and you can see the energy that's still in their body language. Nick James is about to go 80 minutes by the looks of it. Fair play. She's playing on the not preferred side of that scrum. Oh, actually, I could be eating my words here. I think she's about to be substituted, but fair play. Nick James has put in a shift today.
72 minutes is elite for a prop, isn't it?
It really is. And yes, she's an international rugby player, but, you know, in these kind of conditions and the amount of scrumming she's had to do today, I think, Moena Tallinn also making way. She's also got through a hell of a shift.
Sharks certainly in danger of not doing something that they so often do and come away with league points from a match, either through a try bonus or through finishing within 7. All of that looks out of reach with 7 minutes to play.
Never say never, as we know. They got that 4th try, I think, down at Kingsholm when they played each other last time, just near the very end of the game, and they keep doing that on repeated occasions, so let's not say they're not going to get that point yet.
Antwis claims the line out, so composed in the set piece is Iota Antwis. Katana Howard thrives in those kind of spaces. Good urgency here from Sale. Gerald Searcy. Paris Redding. Lovely pass. That's excellently done. Howard in the hunt. Kicks ahead. Back is Rachel Lund, and she breaks the line to reply for a good 15-metre carry. Had a very good stint off the bench today, Rachel Lund. And Gloucester not wanting to do anything with it in their own half. Keat takes it on the run. Bringing good speed to the line here. Almost breaks it. Good tackle from Sarah Beckett. And Gerald Searcy's down. I think that's why we're
it's just
over.
the play's going near where she is. Just a bit frustrating there. Just felt that Sale Sharks are kind of shifting that momentum again.
Susie, who might be on the short list for player of the match?
Well, I've circled
today?
quite a lot of players actually. So I think Olivia Ortiz from South Sharks has had a really positive, very physical game from the 9. I think that 4-5 connection of Gerald Searcy and Moena Tallinn have also had really strong games in difficult conditions for South Sharks. For Gloucester Hartpury, I think Mia Venner has really grown into the game and got a lot of touches on the ball, obviously an early try. And the half-backs have controlled the game really, really well in, again, very difficult conditions. And I think Sam Monaghan has to be right up there. So there's quite a long list of contenders there. I have made a decision, however, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, a decision, but with 5 minutes to play, something might sway you either way,
It
Susie.
might well do.
Now, certainly plenty of good contenders on the list. Casolo back on for a second shift for Sale Sharks with Gerald Searcy off now. Sale's scrum has fared better in this second half. Still been overpowered at times, but they've had their own moments too. That's lovely from Keats. Ralph. Antwis. Great to see her back for Sale. Pick through the middle from Harper. Gets it over to Ralph. She just can't take it. George. They haven't played any rugby in their half. Gloucester Hartpury. George has kicked brilliantly out of hand, and that might be one of the best of the day. Not much Courtney Keat could do with that.
And I think that's very much been the difference between the teams. You know, there's a 15-point difference, but actually the territory, when we look at the stats, you know, when we look back at this game, will be very much in Gloucester Hartpury's favour, just because of their ability to turn Sale Sharks around, make them play, make them kick off the field and give them opportunities through their line out. So really, really smart through the half-backs in particular.
You said, Susie, it would be a lot on the halfbacks today, and it's proven that way. Short line out, which isn't straight, but there wasn't a challenge. But it's got to be straight at the front, as Andrew Jackson says.
Here's an opportunity for Sale Sharks to go 80 metres. Do you back them?
On any normal day, yes. It's just the going, which is tricky. I'd back Asia Hogan-Rochester to go from this kind of distance. Rona Lloyd too, even though she's got a full 77 minutes in the legs. Cocaine. Powerful carry again. Howard over the gain line, setting Sale up. Casola. Ralph. Harper. Hogan. Aitchison. Antwis. Burrows her head. And they tic-tac up the field. Left and right of the ruck. Harper this time. But slender meters ultimately being made. Monaghan goes again, swallowing up Sale Sharks, and it's knocked on. Gloucester Hartpury all over that last set in defence.
Yeah, you can see what Sale Sharks are trying to do. They're just moving the ball from side to side, almost zigzagging the field, looking for an opportunity for a missed tackle, for an opportunity to get a 2v1, but very, very difficult conditions. So you can sympathise with what they're doing, but Gloucester Hartpury have not come off that relentless defensive pressure, which they wanted to work on today, and they certainly have been challenged.
Maybe a chance for something to finish with for Gloucester Hartpury. Once again, this Gloucester Hartpury side undeterred from their ambition to stay at the top of the league. In all of their last 3 titles, they finished the league season, the regular season, at the top of it. Not a side that likes to finish second and then peak for the playoffs. They want to be always at the top, and their consistency is most impressive. But this resistance from Sale is impressive too. They've stopped that head on. Hurd, Hunt, George. They've played it nicely across the line in this second half. Hunt keeps it going to the left-hand side. Little pause from Hunt to think about where the best option was. Muir knocked back. Sale watching her well, and Sale diving to shut down everything here. It's real spirit from the Sharks. Lloyd and Twiss, Keats. And they'll keep playing here, the Sharks. Aitchison, Paris Redding. Great performance today from Paris Redding. Another great performance. Georgia Brock, though, finishing with the ball appropriately in her arms. It has been Gloucester Hartpury's day. It's been the forward pack that have done the vast majority of the damage. They have strangled the life out of Sale today. They've come up to Hayward Road and they have come away with a 22-7 victory. Susie.
Yeah, as we talked about at the top of the show, it was going to be challenging for both sides to handle today, and we just touched on it about who was able to play in the right areas of the field and give themselves opportunities, and Gloucester Hartpury have certainly achieved that today. Now, it hasn't been a walk in the park. They've certainly been challenged. Sale Sharks can take a lot of positivity away from this, but also a lot of learnings about their game management. And yeah, I think considering the conditions, I think a thoroughly enjoyable game of rugby to watch, and hopefully all mud covered in mud. I think I think they'll have had an enjoyable day out there.
And Susie, time then for player of the match, the Made for Athletes player of the match. What was who ultimately are you going to give the award to?
Yeah, and we knew how it was going to be a battle of the packs, and a lot of it about that second row and the aerial skills and the line out. And I think Sam Monaghan, she was getting around the field, she was putting in tackles, but also she was really frustrating what has been a super strength of Sale Sharks and their line out, and she was stealing their ball. So for all those things considered, I think Sam Monaghan today, a really good performance and player of the match.
Well, there is Monaghan, caked in the mud of her labour today. Player of the match. Well, let's see the highlights now. A few more in the first half than in the second, but Susie, would you kindly talk us through the story of the match whilst we try and bring some reaction from the pitch, from the sideline?
Yeah, this one, we're getting the... just kick that doesn't quite make touch. Going to be returned by Emma Singh, so this is the first one. Just a little offload by Sarah Beckett. Tackle not completed and just neglected the defence on that short side. Really well taken by Mia Venner. I just see the reverse angle here. The determination in Mia Venner's face. Just taking herself over the line. Second one, couple of errors defensively and a couple of penalty opportunities allowed Gloucester Hartpury to move up the field and go to their super strength, that driven line out. Great process, gets Kelsey Jones over the line. Then we moved over to the other end. Sale Sharks got the tails up, got some turnover ball, put themselves into a 5-metre driven line out. Again, has been their super strength and go-to. Just ball at the back there. Well worked to get themselves over the line. Millie Hindman, nice young hooker, had a really good day today. Just getting herself on the scoreboard. This one was after about 11 phases of forward carries and eventually then pulled the trigger, and nothing that the Sale Sharks backs could do there. Well executed overlap through the Gloucester Hartpury backs. Just little ball out the back here. Mia Venner getting involved in the game, making the difference in the numbers. Finished off by Rachel Lund. Again, you can see how that line by Jade Sheckles just fixed on that defender. Courtney Keat couldn't quite get to the edge there to make that tackle. So I think that's pretty much our wrap-up of tries. Yeah, so Jack's made his way down to the pitch, and we'll see him talking to the player of the match, Sam Monaghan, shortly.
Thank you, Susie. Yes, pitch side with player Max Sam Monaghan. Sam, congratulations. Firstly, how much fun was that?
It was really good fun. I think we just owned it at the start of this game. We knew what the conditions were going to be like. We knew the side we were facing. Sale having gone from bound to bound the last couple of weeks, like last week, nearly getting that win against Bristol, so close. We knew they'd be hungry this week, and it was an absolute dogfight, which they showed up until the 80th minute.
It certainly was. I mean, conditions like this, it's quite rare for international players like yourself to play it.
Well, look, we enjoyed it. I think it was, we spoke about it, we knew what we were coming up against, and we always spoke about it the last couple of years about being mud monsters. Mo said it at the start, and I think, we are definitely mud monsters today. Monsters, yes.
Well done. And you are player of the match, so congratulations.
Thank you.
There. Is that the first time you've been playing the match in the PWR?
I think so, okay, which is great.
Very well done. You had a great connection today with Nevo Down, particularly the Irish League.
Yeah.
You guys were always together, popping next to each other. Is that something that...
Well, we live together, so it probably shows on the pitch. But no, she's been going from strength to strength in the Irish team the last couple of years. The strength she has behind her willingness to learn is unbelievable. And to have the opportunity to bind behind her in the scrummers class, and then we get to sit down and have dinner together this evening. Although we eat very different things. Her diet is insane. Chicken mince slaw all day, but yeah.
Right. Well, maybe you can share some of what's inside the Built for Athletes rucksack that you get.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank
really
you.
Well
I don't want to check it out. Getting on there. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Go
off and enjoy the
shower.
Result, the shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Mud bath. Off you and do it to Susie. Thank you very much.
So much.
Yeah. Well done, Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. What a performance. That whole pack, the Mud Monsters, Susie.
Mud Monsters.
They call themselves. They were monstrous.
They're pretty prolific, aren't they? 1 to 8, and then when you look at their bench and they bring international World Cup winners off the bench, wow. It takes some stopping, really, and I think that's what Sale Sharks found today, and they talked about it pre-match. You can talk about it all you like, but then having to put it into action is really, really difficult. So fair play. I think Gloucester Hartpury be pleased. It wasn't perfect. It was never going to be because they were challenged, but at the end of the day, they'll go back down the road with their 5 points, which is what they came for.
Okay. Well, we've got Georgie Paris-Redding from Sale's side here.
Hello, well done.
I'm eating mud right now.
Come in the middle. Well played. You were playing the match last week. Had you won, you may well have been Susie's pick. Great performance from yourself. Again, you must have loved it out there.
Honestly, yeah, I love it at Haywood Road. I love it even more because people hate it. But yeah, we're so proud to call this our home. And honestly, typical northern weather, and it was an opportunity for the girls to really show their grit. So not our result, but it's good because I feel like we're starting to make really big improvements.
When it's like this, though, and the ball's changing hands the whole time, I mean, do you almost forget about all the technical game plans that it's meant to be out there? It's just about trying to get the ball back, isn't it?
Yeah, I felt so sorry for our props, our front row and second row, a lot of scrums. But yeah, for us, there's definitely some things we can improve on, but our main thing was let's just keep it simple, keep moving forward, and obviously it didn't always go to plan, but pretty proud of obviously weather and everything, how we were able to play out the game.
One of the things me and Susie picked up was the willingness to get into a scrap. I mean, you enjoyed that side of it?
Never. We all have a bit of a laugh, but the girls know I'd run through a brick wall for them, and I'm very protective over them. And anyone goes, I'm happy to get involved and stick up for them. But it's all in a good place.
Asia got more time on the pitch today. Obviously, you've got a bit of the sparkle. She says she brings 500 different types of sparkle to the changing room at Sale. That's what she said this week. Obviously, it's going down well. She's being integrated into the team quite well.
As you can see, we've all fully bought in. But she's an amazing girl. She adds so much oomph to this team. And even in training, there was a couple of times where we just stood watching her because the way she throws her body in the air and goes for those balls is incredible. And she's a fantastic person, good personality. So really looking forward to and great defence. She got stuck in today, so she obviously likes it here up north.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time, Georgie. It's been great to see you again, and good luck next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done,
Thanks.
Georgie.
Thanks.
Well, Susie, let's talk a little bit more about Georgie and Sale. I mean, it wasn't to be for them, but some things that you think may be a positive steps today.
Yeah, 100%. They stuck in the fight. That's going to be a massive positive, and is a massive positive every single week for them. They never put their heads down. You can hear it in Georgie's voice, can't you? That energy, that desire to work for each other. You can't coach that they've got that, and Brittany Hogan adding, she made a real impact off the bench. Asia's going to come into form. Georgie's already doing stuff. We talked about Nick James. She had to change onto a non-preferred side of the scrum, and she did a great job. So this team is building, and they're going to be competitive this season and into the future. But line out wasn't quite going to plan today. That bit of learning around that game management, I think, will probably be the conversations that's had after this game.
It'll be great to see how Sale, can they get that next win? It'll be coming at some point. What's coming up your way, though, on BBC iPlayer, we'd like to remind you, next weekend, 15th of February, it's Saracens against Bristol. 21st of February, the week after, Saracens again in action against Exeter. Then we've got Exeter again, 6th of March, Gloucester Hartpury hosting the Chiefs on that occasion, and 14th of March, Exeter against Trailfinders after that. Well, Susie, we'll be back for the next rounds to come, where as this wonderful PWR season continues, more teams competitive than ever, and I suppose that is the main thing from the league perspective that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's a joy. It's a bit of a gift every week, isn't it? 2 hugely competitive games last week that could have gone either way. Yeah. Today, I don't know the other results today yet, but, this league just keeps on giving, doesn't it? And people are watching, they're encouraging others to watch, whether you can watch live or whether you can watch on TV. Wow, what a spectacle, what a treat every single week. So I'm loving it. I'm sure hopefully everybody else is too.
It's wonderful to have your company again with us. Go and tell someone else about the next game that's on and get them to join in. We'd love to see you and them next time. Thanks very much for watching.